The fundamental counting principle. So the fundamental counting principle has essentially to do with counting. And that's essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be counting up different things, but we're going to learn to count efficiently. So here it says, at a deli, there are 5 different kinds of bread, 7 different kinds of meat, and 4 different kinds of vegetables that can be put in a sandwich. So how many different sandwiches can be made if we use one type of bread, meat, and vegetable? So if I combine a bread, meat with a vegetable, I can have a certain number of different combinations. So what I can kind of think of this way is I have 5 different, I have 5 different breads, so I can go do like a little tree of 5 different breads, B1, B2, B3, etc. B4, B5. And from each of these breads, we can branch off with, in this case, 7 different meats. So 4, 5, 6, 7, and each of these will have a branch of 7 different meats. Well, if we look at this, this is really doing groups of 7. So instead of doing all this, and although we can draw this out with a tree diagram, what we can do is just combine these with multiplication, because we're essentially talking about groups. So we can combine 5 different breads and combine it with multiplication, because we can do groups of 7 different meats, and we can combine this with, in this case, 4 different vegetables. And altogether then, we can come up with 140 different combinations of sandwiches where we have, could be, could be Italian bread with salami and lettuce, or it could be Italian bread with bologna and cucumbers. Okay, so this is the number of different ways we can count this up. Instead of counting each different one, we can just do it by group counting or multiplication. The same can be done with license plates. And license plates in BC, although it's changed now, it used to be just 3 letters. So we just showed that with XXX as 3 different letters, and then 3 different numbers. Well, we can combine, there's 26 letters that we can have for the first letter. And if we can have repetitions, for example, A and then A, we can have 26 more letters for the second, and we have 26 possibilities for the third. And we can combine this all as groups or with multiplication. And with the numbers, we have 10 different digits, 0 to 9, for the first, second, and third. And again, we can just combine this. These are just going to give us groups, and the groups can be grouped together. So when we do this, we end up with 26 times 26 times 26 times 10 times 10 times 10, and that's going to give us a really big number. It looks like it is 576,000 different license plates can be made with letters first, 3 letters first, and then 3 numbers. So when each selection is not dependent on the others, we basically multiply the selections together, and this is called the fundamental counting principle. So we can apply this in a true-false test. So for example, we have 7 questions, and there's just a true and false for each question. So we can think of it this way. For the first question, there's 2 possibilities. And for every true or false answer in the first question, we can combine that with a true or false in the second question. And then we can combine that with the true or false in the third question, and the fourth question, and the fifth question, the sixth question, the seventh question. The seventh question. And so we end up with essentially 2 to the power 7, and 2 to the power 7 gives us 128 different ways we can answer 7 questions on a true-false test. So this is how we can combine things. As if each selection is independent of each other, we can just multiply the number of possibilities in each level and then combine that all with multiplication. We can also relate this to probability, because probability relates to the number of possibilities. So this 128 calculates the number of possibilities, but if we want all 7 questions to be answered correctly, there's only one way to do it. So probability is the ratio of what we're looking for. So we'll say success. All right, in this case, would be our success over the possibilities. I should really say possibilities. All the possibilities that are available. So there's 128 possibilities. So then the probability of success is 1 out of 128.